best of luck to you. Now, as a teenager, Henry Fraser was a promising rugby player with plans of actually making it his profession. But then, sadly, in 2009, an accident on a post-exam holiday at the age of just 17 left him paralysed from the neck down.
Yeah, from that moment on, he had a new life to live as a tetraplegic and new circumstances to accept and adapt to.
Yes, and now, almost 15 years later, and Henry's become a motivational speaker, an acclaimed mouth artist, a best-selling author, and now the inspiration behind a groundbreaking musical. Have a look at this.
My name's Henry Fraser. When I was 17, I had everything in front of me. Then my life changed. I want to move on with my life.
I want to go back to the life I had before.
Before you know it, Henry will be out of here living his life.
Little things. They mean the big things to me.
And we are joined by Henry alongside the actor who plays him, Ed Larkin. Morning to both of you.
Morning.
Good morning.
So, Henry, let's go back. Your life has inspired a musical, which is a dream, right? I mean, must be quite surreal for you. Tell us a little bit about your life story. Where did this all start?
So, yeah, it started back in 2009, just on holiday with my mates after our AS exams and mucking about on the beach one day, as you know, I had done the previous days, I had done my whole life. It was boiling hot. It was south of Portugal, so I decided to go and cool off in the sea. And as I ran in and dived in, and you know, it's what I thought would be a kind of seabed that would tail off, kind of a bit undulating, went head first into the sand. And in that moment, I expected, you know, open my eyes, get up, join my mates back on the beach, but I opened my eyes, just still there in the water, just totally unable to move or do anything, just floating there, just my arms just dangling lifeless in front of me, just, well, in that moment, panicking from my life, really. And then, luckily, a couple of mates dragged me onto the beach, and, yeah, from that moment, everything changed. I had 3 weeks in Portugal where I had to realign my dislocated vertebrae because I had slipped out of place, which dragged the spinal cord with it, which caused the paralysis. And, yeah, 3 weeks there, intensive care, 3 weeks back in England, intensive care, and then 5.5, 6 months in hospital, and then trying to get back out and live my life again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's devastating. I mean, it's devastating the best of times, but a 17-year-old lad who was out enjoying his lad's holiday, I mean, getting that news must have sort of tore your world apart.
Yeah, I still remember the moment kind of the head nurse came up to me in that time in Portugal, and he just told me, oh, you'd never be able to move your arms and legs again. Yeah, and as a very active 17-year-old, to suddenly have that thrown at you was a pretty heavy thing to try and take. Luckily, I was on a lot of drugs and medication at the time, which softened the blow a bit. But, yeah, to suddenly deal with that in that moment was a lot. And, you know, later down the line, I could see why it was so direct. And I think kind of having that straight-to-the-point, matter-of-fact moment does help. There was no kind of dancing around the fact that this was a serious situation and everything had changed. And looking back, I think that's definitely kind of helped me just kick on and go, right, this is it, and I need to change, I need to adapt to what's happened.
Was that a moment, or was that gradual? Like, did you have that? I mean, I remember in my notes, I read that you had that moment where you just screamed out loud, and then you were like, well, there's two ways I can go here. I just, you know, I give up or I've got to get on with my life.
Yeah, that was the day I was first put into a wheelchair, and first time I saw my reflection in 2 months. And in that moment, kind of everything was just revealed to me. The kind of my future had been shown to me in that reflection.
Yeah.
And I just broke down that day, just all day until the early hours of the morning. It was the first day I'd kind of questioned, like, why me? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And as hard as it was a day that I really needed to kind of switch my mindset into thinking, you know, I need to start looking at what I can do. And it was a big step towards acceptance. I'd say it took me a full 13 months before I fully accepted what had happened, before I could really start actually kind of living again. And, you know, it was 30 months full of a lot of hard work and trauma, both physically, mentally, and a lot of kind of determination, resilience every day to just work hard and push myself and try and do more and be better and all these things. It was 30 months of hard work and trauma, but worth it for, you know, a lifetime future happiness, I think.
Oh, you have the best attitude and you've kept your sense of humour, and I think obviously that's what has inspired this musical, because it isn't all doom and gloom. There's elements of humour in that. Ed, you'll know all too well. So talk us through the musical and also how you got involved and how incredible it was for you.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, the musical itself obviously is based on Henry's story and Henry's memoir. There's a couple of changes and elements for kind of artistic licence. But, yeah, when I first got approached the musical, when I first read the script, it was incredible. Firstly, because it's a true story, which is amazing. And obviously, a true story based around someone with a disability as well is amazing. And for musical theatre, that is incredibly rare. So when I read that, it was amazing to see. And also, I think the main thing that really stood out for me, and when I've met Henry first of all and spoke to him, one thing that really stood out to me was family. Like, that was a really big part of Henry's journey and the theme of the show. I think family, more than anything, is absolutely massive. And the support network Henry had around him is a really big feature of the show, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
It's the first production in the West End that's the lead in a wheelchair. That must, I mean, for both of you, you created the opportunity, you're living the opportunity. It must be extraordinary.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it feels like an honour to be able to do that, to be the first lead in a musical in a wheelchair. But people ask me a lot, but I've also said kind of, it's 2023, 2024. Why has it taken this long? Like, I feel very honoured that Henry's story has given me the opportunity to do it, but why has it been me, and why has it taken this long for musicals in the West End to cast wheelchair users? Like, it's incredible, and it's an honour, but it's also a little bit like, why now? Why has it taken this long?
Yeah, 100%. And although it's lovely that this is the gateway in, you want to be getting other roles off your own merit. Of course you do.
Yeah,
and you will, because we've seen your performance. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Henry, where did the realisation that you could paint like this come from? Did you painted before?
So I did always enjoy art when I was young. But then as kind of my rugby is starting to take a lot of my time, art was also taking a lot of time, but I preferred much more being in the gym or outside rather than stuck in a classroom. And so art, I really fell out of love with it as I went through my teenage years. When I had my accident, I just stopped, didn't even think about it until pretty much exactly 9 years ago now, when I started again. Just I was stuck in bed with a bed sore. When I was able to sit up, I was drawing on my iPad, same way I paint by holding a stylus, my mouth touching the screen. It started just kind of very basic, very linear. And then when I was able to actually paint, I started to just, do you know what, loved it. It's given me that same joy and excitement I had when I was that young boy. And yeah, I still love it. And it's something that keeps kind of challenging me and pushing me to try and, you know, do different things and try new things, which is, yeah, it's just part of fun, I guess.
Your story's inspirational, your art is inspirational. Thanks so much to both of you for joining us. The Little Big Things is playing at the Soho Place in London until the 2nd of March 2024. Tickets are available online. Thanks, Henry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Unbelievable.